We could literally watch Kristen chain smoke cigarettes for freaking hours.
Hi guys, welcome back. This video, I'm so frustrated and angry that I brought the spatula back because I literally am over it. Okay? Season 11. If you guys have been following me, you know that I have not watched season 11 of Vanderpump Rules in its entirety because I can't freaking do it, okay? My anger and my frustration is at a peak, okay? And I can't stand the gaslighting and the bullshittery. I can't do it anymore, okay? So I've just been watching clips here and there, here and there, here and there. And honestly, the clips are enough because they basically might as well just put the full episode on Instagram at this point because that's basically what they do, okay? If you're new here, hi, I'm Sam. Welcome back. If you're been here for a while. If you're new, hi, I do pop culture commentary, and one of my obsessions, as you guys will know, is Vanderpump Rules. I've watched Vanderpump Rules from the inception, from the beginning, from the birth of Brandy Glanville and Scheana Shay, if you know, you know. Okay, so I've been here, okay? I've gone through the ruins of it all, okay? And this is the first season that I have not seen it in its entirety. Okay, I have not watched it from the beginning to the end. I have not watched every second, every clip, every minute, blah, 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 blah. Why, you might ask? It's because it's the year of 2024 in Beyonce's world, and I'm just trying to live in it, and I don't want to live in misogyny anymore. I don't want to live in patriarchy. I don't want to live in gaslightery, and that's what this season is. It's gaslightery, okay? Now, here's the thing. As you guys know, I don't do second by second, minute by minute commentary on these shows. I just don't. I just do the gist, the big parts of it, and my feelings on it, okay? So if you're looking to come here for like a minute by minute replay of the show, you're not gonna get it here. All you're gonna get is a 34-year-old lady bitching and complaining. So what? I mean, here we are, okay? Some of the biggest things that truly upset me and bothered me about this season as a whole was that Bravo truly had this wonderful, beautiful opportunity in their hands to put the women together and show strength in them, show strength in them being a team, show strength in them not wanting to deal with the bullshit of these two Toms and how they have dragged the women in this show over and over and over and over for over a decade, okay? And they had the opportunity to bring those women together and to lift them up. And they chose not to do that. They chose, I don't know what they chose. They chose anger, frustration. Like, I don't know what they chose, but they chose a pissed off fan base that genuinely I don't even think wants the show to come back anymore. Like, I'm done. I'm good. I don't need this show anymore. At least with this group of people. Like, I've heard rumors that they might come back, but it won't be this group anymore. It'll be like a brand new Vanderpump Rules, essentially. Like a revamp, kind of like they did with New York Housewives. I've heard that kind of theory. I've heard lots of different theories. My theory is that at a minimum, Scheana and Lala are going to go to the Valley. The boys, I don't know what they're going to do. The hell if I give a shit. James, I don't think needs to be on any shows. He's doing just fine on his own with his whole DJ career. Like, he's completely fine. I think Allie is completely fine. No issues over there. I think that Katie is doing great. She has her podcast with Dana, and they're under the umbrella of Nick Vile's company. So she's fine. And then Ariana is beyond the show at this point, and she is fine. So I just don't see a world where we need this group of people together anymore. And I genuinely don't even think that this group of people talks to each other anymore. Literally, other than Lala and Scheana still talk to each other. And Katie and Ariana still talk to each other. And then James is kind of like in the mix with the girls. And I think that's kind of where we're at this point. So there's nothing to move forward. And I think the smart thing that they did, the one smart thing the production crew did and the team did at Bravo for this show, was that they did a finale that felt like a series finale. Almost like a just in case. Does that even make sense? Like a just in case. Just in case we don't come back, let's give them a finale that is set up like a series finale in case we just can't get everybody to come back. Let's be for real right now. The reason they're not coming back is because of Ariana. They're not coming back because of her. Because she is doing Love Island. She is going to be doing Chicago again in August. That's why the show's not coming back, is because of her. And it's like one of those things where it's like, oh, so on one hand, she's a flop and she's lazy. She doesn't do anything for the show. She's been riding through the show, blah, 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 blah. But now all of a sudden, it's all her fault that we don't have a show. So pick a lane, Linda. Either she's the reason why we don't have a show anymore and she's like the main person and blah, 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 blah. Or she's a flop and she sucks and she's lazy. You have to pick one. The hypocrisy that continues to go back and forth about this show and about Ariana specifically is like, I have whiplash at this point. Like my neck can only go back and forth so much with the fact that every 5 seconds, it seems like Lala and Scheana contradict themselves. And what's frustrating is that like the Toms, like you just kind of like, I don't know, I'm not so shocked by the two of them because like we're used to them being idiots. We're used to them being the worst. We're used to them not being kind to women in this group. We're used to that. Whereas like Scheana and Lala, especially, I can't express enough how like disappointed I am in Lala. Like I truly can't express how frustrating it was to watch Lala this season. And also people like Andy Cohen need to kick rocks. Okay. I'm sorry. Like bow down to Andy Cohen, like the Bravo Jesus, like whatever. It pisses me off on one hand to listen to him on his, you know, Radio Andy, whatever the hell it's called. Listen to him on his thing, talk about how Lala's the, you know, the voice of reason this season, blah, 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 blah. And then the next second he talks about her at the reunion and he talks about the final episode and is like, oh yeah, like kind of crazy how like Lala, like what Lala was saying at the end there. And it's like, so she's not the voice of reason. She was never the voice of reason. Lala was so rough to watch this season. As someone who is a Lala apologist, like since she stepped on the scene on season 4, I have rooted for that girl from the very beginning. I have rooted for James. I have rooted for the two of them. And to watch James really grow a lot. And listen, if there are things out there that he has done to Kristen, if there's things out there that he did to Rachel that are not good, I don't support that. And I don't want that for them. And I don't want that to be... It would make me really upset and really sad. I'm not gonna lie, okay? But I also live in a world where I could see that if someone is an alcoholic and they're dealing with alcoholism, it's not an excuse. Obviously, it's clearly not an excuse, but it is a reason as to why they behaved certain ways and did certain things. It's just a reason. It's not a get out of jail free card. It's like, oh, well, you're an alcoholic. Like, it's totally fine that you like beat the shit out of me. Like, no, that's not how that works in any way, shape, or form. But it is a reason as to why he probably behaved that way and handled situations that way. So I don't see that with Allie, but who knows? But watching him get sober again, watching him really put like commitment, really be there for Allie and support her and really like work on himself. And even the way like, for me, it's like when you give the men the opportunity to speak freely, what do they say? Because if you give the Toms the rope to hang themselves, essentially, they will do it. And, you know, kind of it, God, with Brock, it's like 50-50. Sometimes Brock says the most smart thing in the room, like the most intelligent thing you can think of. And you're just like, wow, Brock, like Brock really gets it. And then other times you're like, are you dense? Like, what don't you understand? What don't you get about the situation? Like, you're frustrating as hell. And then you have James, who it's like, we've seen season after season, he has been frustrating. He has been immature. He has been essentially abusive. He really has been, especially emotionally abusive. Okay, we have seen all of those things happen. But this season, we've really seen a maturity come from him in the way that he speaks about things, in the way he speaks on the show, in the way that he speaks in the after show, in the way that he speaks online. Like, you're still getting like the silly, funny James, like that's like, you know, oh, I'm joking around, like all that stuff. But there's a level of understanding and maturity attached to it that I really appreciate from him. And Lala, I really was like, oh my God, this is the season where Lala is going to be the girl's girl. Like, she's really going to stick up for her friend, be there for her, and root for her and say, fuck you to Tom Sandoval. Like, for seasons, she has been the one that has always said, her and Katie have always been the two that have said that there's something fucked up about that man, that there's something wrong about Tom Sandoval, that he moves weird, you know, all this dumb shit. Have said that he's not a good person. They've always known it, blah, 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 blah. Katie has stuck with that. Because Katie's like, yeah, he is. I've been trying to tell you guys all this for over a decade, that he's a scum person and he's a bad person and that he's not a good boyfriend. He's not a good partner. He is a horrible person. I've been telling you guys this and has stuck to that and has always been a girl's girl. She has stood up for Staffy. She has tried to stand up for Kristen, even though Kristen's just a wackadoodle. You know, she stood up for the girls in the group when these situations have happened, okay? She stuck up for Scheana. She has been there for these women in this group. She's never supported these dumbass men, except for, you know, again, she doesn't necessarily like supported Tom by any means, but she like took a lot of the brunt of the garbage for Tom. And it's frustrating to see that Lala rode so hard for hating on Tom Sandoval, that he's a vile person, he sucks, he's the worst, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden, randomly this season, she sees his point of view. She sees how it is. She sees this, she sees that. And it's like, you know what? I've had it. I have had it with women turning on other women for whatever gain in their life. What frustrates me is this whole like, Ariana thinks she's holier than thou. She thinks she's Beyonce. She thinks she's everything, blah, 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 blah. And it's like the thing that keeps coming out is almost like she's selfish and she's not supporting the group and she's not coming to the table with things and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, wait a minute. You admitted, like this is the thing that pisses me off, is that this group of people and a lot of reality stars forget that they're on fucking TV. And that they're on Instagram, they're on TikTok, they're on Twitter, they're on every freaking thing on the planet where we can literally watch it come out of their own friggin' mouths, full context. They forget that part. And Lala has completely forgotten all of that. Lala literally said that she bought her house in the valley just from the send it to Daryl shit that she did. So you did benefit, Lala. You have a house over your head now, because of this situation that you benefit off of. And who didn't stop you from benefiting off of that? Ariana. Who did the Uber Eats with you guys? She didn't have to do that. She didn't have to add all of you guys to that. Who did that all together and supported each other and had fun with that? Ariana, Scheana, Lala, you all benefited from that shit. Your podcast fucking benefited from that. That's what pisses me off, is that you sit there and you tell this woman over and over and over again, and you don't even tell her. You guys are all a bunch of scaredy cats that say this shit behind her back. That's what's the most messed up to me, is that you sit there and you sit on your high horse, especially Lala, and being all like, I'm a badass, I'm this, I'm that, and then you never once all fucking season look that woman dead in her eye and tell her what you keep saying behind her back in diary rooms and all this other crap when she's nowhere to be found. You don't say that any of that to her face. Because why? Because of what? And I'm just so angry and fed up. I will say this, I do not like, it's not going to help Lala and Scheana to want to become better and to want to be better and to see their wrongs by calling them bitches and by calling them nasty names. That's not going to fix anything. It's not going to make it better. It's not going to make them listen. So when I see people, especially men, even gay men, running around calling Scheana and Lala bitches and calling them other names, that's not going to fix the problem. Okay, we're trying to unite women. We're not trying to separate them and pin them against each other. That's what they're doing. We don't want them to do that. We want them to stop this crap. I would love to see Scheana and Lala come to their senses and realize what they did was so fucked up and so wrong and nasty. And I would just love to see that for them. Because I just feel like if the roles were reversed, which for Lala they kind of were, she would want people to support her. And they did. They all did, except for Schwartz. They all supported her and was like, yeah, makes total sense. Like, why would we want to talk to Randall? We support you. We love you. You have a daughter. Like, this is a lot. And they supported you. Why can't you give that support back to them? I'm just never going to understand why we cannot give the same grace to this specific woman that has been given to Lala and Scheana. How supportive could Ariana have been to the group of you? The other thing that I don't appreciate and I don't like is that I feel like when they go back and forth on like, is she a good friend? Is she not a good friend? Blah, 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 blah. Here's the thing. Being a good friend does not equate to doing things that make you uncomfortable, doing things or going to places or being around people that you don't want to be around, being up until 1 or 2 in the morning. Like, that doesn't equate to whether or not you're a good friend or not. And I think what they don't want to bring up, that they want to push this narrative that like, Ariana doesn't come out with us. Ariana's not always there for us. Ariana isn't always involved in everything. It's like, okay, but she said one of the reasons that she had a hard time with Tom Sandoval was he always wanted to go out and party. He always wanted to be around everybody, be up until 1 in the morning, be drunk, be whatever else, because let's be for real, he's not just drunk, and do all these things. And she didn't want to. She wanted to stay home. She wanted to enjoy the vibe of her home. Like, yes, was she out and about and did things? Yeah, she did. But every single night? No, she was not doing that. So for me, it's like, well, wait a minute. Is she not a good friend because she didn't show up for big things? Or is she not a good friend because she just didn't go out with all you guys 24/7, partying your faces off, acting like idiots? Which one is it? Like, because from what I remember, what I've seen, she's gone to all the kids' birthday parties over and over and over again. Everyone that she was able to go to, she's gone to their birthday parties. She's supported every single one of them. She's been there for all of them. They just, like, this is the thing is, like, people have to start realizing and, like, need to go to their therapist, like, honestly, and start realizing that just because someone throws money at you, throws parties at you, throws these big gestures at you, doesn't mean they're a good friend. It means usually when someone's doing something like that over and over and over again, you kind of sometimes have to sit there and go, okay, like, but what's their other behaviors that I'm noticing? And all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, they do all these big, big, big things, but over here they're talking shit about me. And they use these big things to cover up their shit behavior, and they cover up the ways that they speak to you, and they cover up how rude and nasty they are. If you sit there and watch the way that Sandoval ran up to the girls, the second Ariana didn't want to talk to him, he ran right up to them and was like, she doesn't give a fuck about you. She doesn't care about you guys, blah, 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 blah. The second he was given the opportunity to be an asshole, he took it because he is an asshole, because he is a narcissist. Oh yeah, don't want to diagnose people. No, I'm going to diagnose him. I'm diagnosing him right now. I literally have a PhD. I don't even give a shit. This man is a narcissist. He is literally, as they say, a textbook narcissist. Narcissist is in the dictionary. Tom Sandoval's face is right next to it. He love bombs. He does all these crazy things to make up for the fact that he's an asshole. That's why. And the things that he's doing are not to benefit you. They are to benefit him. He wants to be praised and he wants to be told how amazing he is. It has nothing to do with you. Bringing, the whatever situation, what was it, like the sound guy or some shit like that, to the event on the last episode, he didn't do that for fucking Scheana. He did that to look good. He did it to look good. And exactly, Ariana has him pinned so so well. Pinned him down. And it's like, I know exactly what he wants. He wants to talk to me in front of the camera, piss me off, look like he's a good guy, and then I'm the bad guy because I don't want to deal with his bullshit. That's what he wants to do. And in my opinion, I think Sandoval and Scheana were in on the last interaction together. I do. I think that she was like, hey, I'll talk to Ariana. We'll have a little tee-hee. And then you'll walk over and kind of be like, oh, well, hey, Scheana. Oh, wait, Ariana, can we talk? And then we'll go from there. I think that they were all in it together. And the fourth wall, Andy said it on his podcast. He said that apparently the scene that the cast is going to see is the last scene that we saw. So when they get their advanced copies, that was taken out of the advanced copy, I guess. And so they weren't aware of it. And so they're going to watch that last chunk of them breaking the fourth wall and Lala bitching and complaining and Tom Sandoval losing his shit and then the hot mic at the end, they're all going to see that at the end. And I'm glad they're going to see that at the end because I really literally want people, I want it, because you can tell in the previews that Lala came into the reunion acting like she's on Team Ariana. Because she's like, oh yeah, looking at Ariana, she's like, oh yeah, me and you. And then the boy's like, you know? And it's like, so you're a liar. You're a liar. You're not telling her the truth. You're not telling her that in the entire season, every diary room opportunity that you had, you talked absolute shit about this woman. Absolute shit about her. Dan's boring, this and that. Lala, you have to stop. At some point, when you're putting this much anger out into the world, you need to look at yourself and what's bothering you and what's frustrating you. And it's so weird because it's like Lala was like, oh, I'm going to be softer this season. I'm going to be softer this season. Lala wasn't softer this season. Lala was just as nasty as she always is. But in this space, it was for whatever reason towards Ariana when it should have been towards the Toms. It should have been towards the two idiots that are so nasty to women on this show and have always been since day one. That's where the anger and the frustration should have gone. It should not have gone towards Ariana. I will never understand that. So let me lay off of Lala for a minute because you can only complain so much about these people to the point that they don't give a shit and they're not going to change and then nothing's going to happen. But that's just how I feel. You know what I'm saying? With Scheana, what frustrates me about her and Brock is that they're just in production mode all the time. Same with Lala, honestly. But they're always in like production mode, producer mode, instead of literally sitting there and going, what type of person do I want to be? What type of friend do I want to be? And they chose to be, in my opinion, sellouts. And you cannot look at the camera over and over and over again and say that you're her best friend, she's your best friend, you love each other so much, you've always been there for each other, blah, 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 blah. And then every diary room opportunity that you get, you make a little snide comment about her and a little snide comment about your relationship. The last one that she made was like, oh, but you know, that's just me making it all about myself. It's like, you're being rude. You're being mean. Don't say that. Like, why do that? When she talked about like Ariana being a backup dancer for Scheana, it's like, why are you saying that? The Dancing with the Stars thing. Oh, she knew how much it meant to me. So? It's Dancing with the Stars. So no one on the cast is allowed to be on Dancing with the Stars except for you. Like, these are the things that I'm just like, you're not a good friend. Like, Scheana is just not a good friend. And one of these days, I've said this multiple times, one of these days, Lala is going to piss off Scheana or Sheena's going to piss off Lala and they're going to have the same issue. And it's like, you guys have to start figuring out the type of friend that you want to be, because the friends you are right now are not good friends. And the people around you rooting you on and supporting your BS is not okay. Somebody in your group needs to go, this isn't right. This is not okay. Because here's the thing is like, I do actually genuinely believe that, like, to their core, I actually do believe that Lala and Scheana are actually like overall like good people. And the reason why I feel like I'm able to say that is because I see how they are with their daughters. And to me, it's like, if you can be that good of a mother, why can't you be that good of a friend? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're that amazing of a mom, which I think that they are, why aren't you that amazing of a friend? That's the part that I'm just like missing. Like, you have daughters. Would you want your daughters to get treated like this? No, you would not. You would want them to get their bag and, you know, make their money and, you know, but also be kind to everybody around them. And I don't see, like, I've said this so many times, I'm just waiting for Lala to drop what she thinks she's going to drop. She keeps waiting and keeps saying that we're going to see this moment. We're going to see people in a different light and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I've yet to see this. If Lala has proof, hardcore proof, text messages, audio, video, whatever, of Ariana being a bad friend, show the audience. I want to see it. I would like to see that. I think the audience would like to see that. We would like to see everybody for who they truly are. But you guys have yet to show us this. Sandoval has not shown us anything. None of y'all have shown us anything. I'm just waiting to see where she's a flop. She's lazy. She skates by everything. She has no storylines. She never showed anything about her and Tom, blah, 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 blah. This is what they don't understand is, I said this on TikTok. What they don't understand, and what Lala will never understand, and I don't think Scheana and Sandoval will ever understand either, is that Ariana is a regular person on a reality TV show. She's not a caricature or a character. She is herself. And so she has this sense of security about herself. And it's like, yeah, I'm on a reality show. I understand that. And I will talk about as much as I can. But there does come a point where your mental health takes priority and you've been abused by somebody, whether that's physically, emotionally, whatever, that you have to put a line in the sand and go, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to put myself in these situations to be emotionally abused over and over and over again. It's not worth it to me. I just won't be here anymore. And they don't understand that boundary. She does because she's an adult, and Katie does, but nobody else seems to understand what a boundary is. And sometimes there's a boundary. And to sit there and act like, oh, we can't make a good show unless these two are chit-chatting with each other, then you don't have a good show. If you two are so dependent on those two talking, you don't have a good show. And to sit there and go, oh, they never were around each other. They never were around each other. You know, oh my God, you know, we never got any scenes together. That's bullshit. That's just not true. Again, I don't know if you guys know this. You record the show and it goes out to the public. Like, hello, you guys had a beach day. They interacted. They interacted at the house where they were yelling at each other and stuff. They have interacted. I don't know how much more you want. You want to put this woman on like a fire and watch her burn. And I don't get it. I don't understand why. And I don't like that Bravo is like okay with it. That they weren't like pushing forward like, girls, no, we should really like band together with Ariana and like support her. Not make excuses for these two dipshits. Like you sit there and like you see clips of the reunion and Lala's like, I don't regret anything I said at the reunion. But you must, because you've changed your mind completely and say complete opposites about things and support this demon person. So what is it? Which one is it? That's what I just want to know. Is it this or is it this? Because within the last 365 days, your opinion has changed about 7 different ways to suit you and your narrative. Instead of being a good friend to somebody. Katie Maloney needs to be bowed down to. I've said this for years now. We were so awful to Katie and we supported everybody but Katie. Katie's been the number one, the real, the best one since day fucking one. Okay? Yeah, you know what? Katie's messy. She has her moments, blah, 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 blah. But man, oh man, has her redemption arc been so massive. And what a good friend Katie is. If Katie loves you and supports you and you're good to Katie, holy shit, she will stand up to anybody for you. And I love when she looks at Lala being like, okay, what are you going to do? Go pow, pow, pow. Oh, yeah. Like, what are you going to go gangster on me? Woo. Like, Katie knows. Katie's not an idiot. Katie knows. I think the other thing that the group wants to forget about, you know, Katie had said, like, joked around, like, it's not as nuanced as they're making it out to be. And it's like, well, yeah, in the sense of, like, it's pretty black and white. Like, he cheated on her. He's a devil person. He's always been kind of evil. We should not be around him anymore. Like, that I understand. But it is very nuanced. And they forget the nuance of it. They make it seem like, to me, this is what, I think that they think it is simple. I think that they think it is, he just cheated on her. Like, what's the big deal? Like, yeah, he didn't kill anybody. It's like, okay. Yeah, you're right. He didn't kill anybody. Let's stop using that excuse. It's stupid. Okay? But what he did do is he lied. He manipulated her. And what Ariana brings up is she had non-consensual, non-something consent, essentially. And I was like, oh my God, I never even thought about that. That essentially, he was not honest with her about what he was doing. Therefore, how is Ariana able to consent to having sex with Tom Sandoval if she doesn't fully know what he's out there doing? He could have given her an STD. He could have done something awful with his body to her body. He didn't give a shit. He didn't care. He doesn't give a crap about her. He doesn't care what happened to her. He doesn't give a rat's ass. If he did, he wouldn't have done these things, or at least he would have broken up with her. He would have at least left the house. He didn't do that. The other thing that people continue to not want to talk about and want to forget about is that thing that Ariana brought up, which I thought was genius. I was like, oh my God, thank you for bringing that up. I never even fucking thought about that. That is so true. How are you supposed to consent to having intimate relationship with your partner if your intimate partner is not telling you who else they're being intimate with? Hello? But the other part that no one wants to talk about and bring up is that he bamboozled her into going to therapy. He went to therapy, made it seem like he was working on himself and she was working on herself. She's over here doing more things, becoming a better person, being a good partner, blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, he's lying straight to her face and straight to the therapist's face and wasting her time, wasting her money, wasting her energy for nothing. For nothing. He didn't just cheat on her. He manipulated her, he lied to her, he backstabbed her, and he did it to all of you as well. That's the sick part. He did it to all of you, not just her. He literally brought this girl into their house while Ariana was in their house and had sexual relationship with her in the house. She literally left to go to her grandmother's funeral. Her dog died. Her long dog, who she considered to be her child. And you were doing the doody-do in the house that you live in with her. Like, the fuck-uppery never stops with this man. The way that he treated her, I'm so over this, like, oh, you know, he didn't kill anybody. What does he have to do to equate to being, of killing someone? You tell me, Lala. You tell me, Scheana. What does he have to do for it to be serious enough for you to take it seriously? You know, and then the whole house situation, like, oh my God, like, you know, you're staying in the house with him. Like, what do you expect from us? Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, Lala, if that was your house that you and Randall owned together and you had financial stake in that home, would you not want to fight for it and not waste money on an Airbnb, on another home, all this shit? Wouldn't you want to be in your house? If he did that to you, wouldn't you expect him to grow a fucking pair and leave? But no, he didn't do that. Tom Sandoval didn't do that. Nope. It's, I'm going to ruin your life. I'm going to blow it all up. I'm going to treat you so horribly. I'm going to put you in harm's way physically and emotionally. But I'm staying here. What? Like, I can't. Like, Scheana alone is proving my point of that you would expect Brock to leave. You would expect Brock to get the fuck out. You would expect Brock to move on because you've set yourself up enough that if you guys do get divorced, you do break up, you have a prenup and your name is all over that goddamn house. So guess what? If you two broke up, guess who's leaving? Brock is. If Brock screws Scheana over, he's out of there. Why isn't Tom Sandoval out of there? Why does Tom Sandoval get to stay and do whatever the hell he wants? Please make it all make sense to me. Again, the hypocrisy from the cast, the hypocrisy from Bravo, the hypocrisy from Andy Cohen, it's frustrating. The audience does not want to be gaslit anymore. I don't know if you understand that. Your audience is more intelligent now, okay? We don't want to be gaslit, especially when your majority of your viewers are women and gay men, two groups that get gaslit all the fucking time. We don't want to get gaslit anymore. We want to be told the truth. We want to see everything in front of us, and then we choose for ourselves how we want to deal with that emotionally when we're watching our television shows. That's what we want. And Bravo decided to take the thing that is the worst for women right now, especially women right now, which is men manipulating us, gaslighting us, taking advantage of us, and trying to manipulate everybody around us for their benefit. Like, what do we read the room? Read the room. We don't want to be treated this way anymore. So therefore, we don't want to see this on our TV shows anymore. I want to see, trust me, I want to see conflict. I want to see drama. I want to have those moments. I'm not saying I don't want to have those moments, but not at the cost of the women or the people on the show who are in the right. not at the cost of them. I don't want to see that anymore. I want to see women band together. I want to see women supporting each other. I don't mind a conflict, a disagreement. I don't mind those things. But I want them to do that. I don't need Bravo to edit it and to force situations, to force the audience to think that they have to forgive a man who is a demon person. And I feel bad that Ariana thought that, you know, oh, I might be perceived as the bad guy this season, but like it is what it is. I'm like, girl, I don't know anybody that's not supporting Ariana. And trust me, maybe I'm just on the wrong side of the internet, but I don't see one human out there click-clacking away saying, you know, screw Ariana. It's like a robot, essentially, or like, you know, a Klingon of Sandoval's. And Sandoval's just going to keep being a bad person. It's not going to stop. That's the thing. It's like, everybody wants to forget that this was in like a 3-month span. Everybody acts like this is like, this happened yesterday. No. This happened. They taped it within 3 months. They taped it. Okay. Taped the whole season. And Tom proceeded to go on podcast after podcast after podcast after show after whatever all over the internet, continuing to act like an idiot. The Vile Files, that episode that he did with Tom Schwartz was what, a month ago? A month ago. And he's being a piece of garbage a month ago. I don't know how much more evidence the world needs, and by the world I mean Lala and Scheana, to see that this person is a vile human being. He does not like you two. When he's sitting there being like, Ariana talks shit about you guys, blah, 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 blah. No. I guarantee you, Ariana doesn't talk shit about them. I guarantee you, she, what's the best way to put it? Constructively criticizes them, essentially, and holds them accountable and tries to have constructive conversations with them. That's the thing, is like, you know, Tom's always like, she put me down all the time. She always was saying I was an idiot, blah, 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 blah. And like, I don't actually think that. I actually think what was going on was that she was holding him accountable, telling him to stop being an asshole, telling him to stop being nasty and rude and mean to all the women in the group. And he was like, oh, she says I'm stupid. She says I'm stupid. No, she's saying stop being stupid by being rude to the women in this group. Don't do that. The maturity. It's a maturity thing. She wanted him to be mature and grow the fuck up. He doesn't want to grow up. So it's like watching a child. My son does it all the time. He's like, you're yelling at me. You're mean to me. And I'm like, no, I just told you to clean your room up. But sure, I'm screaming at you right now. But the difference is, he's 9 and Tom Sandoval's in his 40s. So there's that. So anyway, you guys let me know in the comments down below how you felt about this season. How you felt about this last episode, where you think it's going to be going moving forward. Try to keep it, you know, PG. Don't be saying some crazy nasty things. Just try to keep it PG, okay? And just let me know how you guys feel. Let me know what you think about the next season. Do you think it's even we're even gonna have another season? Where do you think everybody's gonna go from here? Would you like to see a Vanderpump Rules with just a different cast? Comment. Do all the comments down below, okay? Like it. Subscribe it, ring the bell, do a comment, do everything. Even if you're not a commenter, comment an emoji. That's fine. But comment everything and anything. I would appreciate it so unbelievably much. So the algorithm does a little push out for me here, so we can keep talking about fun stuff on the internet, okay? Like Vanderpump Rules. If you haven't watched it already, I do have a Vanderpump Rules playlist. I will put it somewhere up here throughout the video. You guys can go check that out. It is a recap from season 2, season 3, and I'm currently doing a recap of season 4, which has been really fun. I also have other videos about other pop culture, reality TV stuff that you can check out as well. I hope you enjoy this video. I enjoy you very much. And as always, please love and support your local LGBTQIA businesses. I will also have links to my podcast, to my Reddit thread, and I will also have links below on how you can support those in Palestine right now and support all the college students and the university students and the people that are supporting and helping that movement right now, because we all need to support them and love on them. 1000%. There's no other option. So I love you guys, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.